to try and really educate people, because I didn't know. I was over 50 when I realized that the things that I was bringing into my home was actually poisoning my family, and I had no idea, and it kind of made me mad. So that's how I look at my business, is that I'm here to help people. Detoxing your home or going natural, it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of greenwashing. Unless you really know how to read labels, you're going to wind up buying things and thinking you're doing good, and then you're still harming yourself. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead, and because my introduction goes through as I'm doing the workshop, so you'll learn a little bit more about me as we go along. What you can expect is that, where in your home will you find these chemical toxins? What is the environmental impact? And comparing chemical cleaning to mechanical cleaning. Because a lot of times you try things that are all natural, but it's still chemicals, and there's a better way. And I found it. So I am your hostess for the workshop. I'm a mom of 4 children. I have 3 boys and 1 girl. My oldest boy is 35 and my youngest daughter is 17, and we're trying to survive that. I like to say that I am a survivor of life's traumas, dramas, and I went through the school of hard knocks. A lot of people refer to me as an accidental environmentalist because it wasn't my natural thing. It happened slowly and over time. So you understand who I'm not is I'm not a gardener. I'm not outdoorsy. I'm not that nature loving girl. I'm just not. I do love my sugar, my caffeine, and my gluten, guys. I've always had burning candles and air fresheners and all of those kinds of things. But I always had a clean home. I used lots of Lysol, lots of bleach, because that's what I was taught would keep my family safe from bacteria and from colds. And, we have this new thing that we're all dealing with, right? So everything was a Lysol wipe everywhere. And it wasn't until halfway through the last couple of years and what we've all been going through that I realized that what I was doing actually wasn't as healthy as it could be. So you're in the right place if you want to really kind of do better for yourself, for your family, but it's just overwhelming. When I found out that there was 287 chemicals in a newborn's baby's cord blood, that knocked me on my butt. How does a newborn baby get that many chemicals in their system? It's just ridiculous. These have been linked to, as the slide says, cancer, brain stuff, nervous system injuries, and birth defects, and abnormal development. It also affects sterility and fertility. It's the endocrine disruptors are just crazy. So again, if you want to, at the end, I'm gonna offer you guys a really cool takeaway that you guys for free if you stay to the end, obviously. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions as we go along, all right? If I don't get to your question, Timaree will get them to me, and I'll make sure that I reach out and I get those answers to you, or via Timaree will get those answers. All right, so who am I? Grew up in Vegas. I am a concrete girl. I grew up, everything was concrete. Everything was a city girl. I met my husband, and he wanted to build a house. It took us 13 years. And what wound up happening is through the process, financial things happened. I lost my job. I was 2/3 the household income. And we started having to do things more economically. So why I'm an accidental environmentalist is because we did not do these environmental things really we were good stewards of the environment, but it really was for cost savings. So we put a wood boiler in the house, so we do not have oil or gas heat. And he puts logs in it every morning and every night in the dead of winter. And we have not had a heating bill for 15 years. Then he decided he was going to put solar panels in because there were rebates and the federal government was whatever. And financially, we wouldn't have an electric bill, or we thought so. I mean, we were building a 3,000 square foot home, and we had to be able to financially run the house once it was built. And so we don't have oil, gas, propane, anything like that. And then we have solar power for our electric. Again, we didn't have an electric bill for 13 years, and then my husband got a Tesla. And now our bill is about $27 a month. Then it was, my husband's allergic to everything. So I was like, all right, how can I better clean and just do something more natural, right? And I live in a log home, so I'm like, I got to get natural, right? I got to get rid of my Las Vegas side, and I need to embrace this country life. So I tried essential oils. I couldn't figure it out. To me, it was mixology, and I couldn't figure it out. Then the natural products, I struggled with those when I started finding out about greenwashing. Either the company was run unethically, they were still putting things in there that shouldn't be. The packaging was bad. There was all sorts of reasons why that, just didn't work well. And then again, it was mixology. It would come in a little thing and then you had to dilute it, but all the products were different. I just got to be easy for me. And then I found mechanical cleaning, which was amazing. And I just had no idea that it was possible. And so I had very much like given up on the natural, and I was going and embracing my Lysol wipes again. And so when I found mechanical cleaning, I just like embraced it in a crazy way. So it's really smart because mechanical cleaning, you don't have to have any chemicals, and it's actually much more economical. So again, this goes along the lines of, the name of my company is Cost Effective Crunchy Living, because I think that especially in today's day and age, what we need to do is to preserve our health, help the environment, but be able to afford it. Like, it can't be something that's crazy. So here are a couple of interesting statistics. The US household spends about $600 a year on chemical type products in order to clean the home. When you use a spray cleaner, it accelerates the lung function decline, like you're smoking 20 cigarettes a day. It's a lot. 85% of all contaminants brought into the house are done in the first 4 steps when you walk in the house. It's crazy. 9 out of 10 cancers are caused by environmental factors. 54% more likely stay-at-home moms are to be diagnosed with an environmental cancer because of the indoor air quality. It's the VOCs that come off of things, but it's also all of these terrible cleaners that we're using. It's insane. Here's a few more. 16 chemicals are used in personal care products for a woman per day. 16 chemicals. So when you're pregnant and you're using those things, that's how babies get it in their bloodstream. So it's crazy. All of these statistics, I put them up just because I like to show people that it's not just a fad. It's just not for fun that you do something different. This particular is important. One of the things that really, really got to me is that I have a son with high functioning autism. I was very careful about the food I fed him. I was careful when he got his vaccines. If he didn't need the booster, we did blood serum tests. And yet I was taking Lysol and bleach and cleaning his toys and giving to him, and he was putting them in his mouth. And now we know that those chemicals can be linked to developmental disorders. That made me really mad. So going to the store and buying and paying these companies to create products that are bad for our environment, bad for our bodies, bad for our kids, and even for our pets, that kind of made me a little bit unhappy, let's just say. The interesting thing is 45 different chemicals have been identified in household dust. That's a little crazy, right? Now we have an environmental impact. Okay. They estimate that 100 billion plastic grocery bags are used per year, and they end up in our waterways. And there's actually an island of plastics out in our ocean. I want to say it's the North Arctic Ocean, and it literally is hurting our wildlife as well as destroying our waterways. So now I live in New Jersey. I was here for them to take away all of our plastic bags. So kind of happy. Everybody has to use reusable bags. That makes me happy. These are the single-use items that people don't think about. Paper towels, 254 million tons of trash are created just by paper towels, and 51,000 trees are cut down just to fuel the North American habit with paper towels. Think about, I mean, not only are we putting trash out there, but we're also cutting down the thing that recycles our air. And then of course, 500 million people use a straw, and well, it's just one straw. Well, it's 500 million straws every day are used. It's insane. Here's that garbage patch. That's 80,000 tons of plastics and things of that nature. It's insane. 9 million tons of plastics ends up in our oceans every year. So this is pretty incredible. So now we're going to get to chemical cleaning versus mechanical cleaning. And this is where like the jelly meets the peanut butter here. It's just amazing. So this is a great example of the comparison between using a chemical cleaner and using a mechanical cleaning. So on the left, you can see that that's just a normal garden. And then in the center, you see somebody that used Roundup or some kind of spray chemical to weed, right? But now the chemical is still sitting there. The dead weeds are still sitting there. So what have you done? You've just made more of a mess and you've put chemicals into your garden. Whereas when you mechanically weed your garden and you pull them out one by one, they're actually being removed. The weeds are no longer in your garden. You're not creating a chemical, and it's a clean garden, right? That's the difference with chemical cleaning versus mechanical cleaning. It's exactly the same. So what microfiber does is it doesn't kill the bacteria. So what I use is microfiber, and what it does is it actually picks up the bacteria and the viruses and the dirt and the grime that is on your countertop. Okay, so if you use a microfiber cloth with water and you wipe it across, what happens is it's actually picking up the virus. Now it's still alive in the rag, but the rags that the cloths that I use have silver infused woven into it. And what happens is silver, if you know, and you may know this already, let me know in the chat. Have you ever seen how silver is actually used as a cleaner, as it actually kills things? So what silver will do within the microfiber cloth is it actually suffocates and kills the bacteria while it's in the rag. So what you do is that you use water and a microfiber rag, and it will clean everything off your counter, right? And then you rinse the rag and you hang it. And within 24 hours, the silver woven into the cloth actually makes the environment inhospitable and the bacteria dies. And so the rag actually self-cleans itself. And once I use it, I hang it for 24 hours. And I only have to wash my rags every week to 2 weeks, and they never, ever smell. So mechanical cleaning, I have been able to get rid of 80 to 90% of all the chemicals in my house. I no longer use window cleaner. I no longer use scrubbing bubbles. I don't use Lysol. I don't use bleach on anything. I don't use vinegar. I don't use like a spray all-purpose cleaner. I don't use a granite cleaner for my granite counters. A chemical cleaner, you spray it on your counter and you wipe it and you think you're removing it, but really you're not. You're leaving chemical and dead bacteria on your counter. It's dead, but I personally would like it completely removed. That's my thing, right? And so it's pretty remarkable that the idea of removing chemicals from our home with something as simple as water and a rag. And that's, I mean, I use a natural clay paste for things and things of that nature. But in general, I've gotten rid of 90% of all the chemicals in my house in every single room with microfiber. Even I use microfiber and I put it on my hand. It's a mitt, and you do this and you create static electricity, and it literally just sucks up the dirt and the dust, and that's pretty incredible. So for me, the idea of removing and getting rid of chemicals is the most important thing. Microfiber is the best way to do it. and a high quality microfiber is important because I can go to the dollar store and get microfiber, but it doesn't have silver in it. So that's how I clean. And that's how I've been able to ditch most of it. I even use a microfiber cloth to remove my makeup. And I used to be, I was a hairdresser. So I had all the lotions and potions, and I don't even use makeup remover anymore because microfiber literally removes bacteria and everything off my skin. My daughter, who's 17, who we all know people 17 have hormones and they have all kinds of issues, and she uses a microfiber cloth to clean her face. So that's really, I want to bring awareness to all of the statistics of what happens when we use chemicals, and that mechanical cleaning or steam cleaning, you can do steam cleaning as well. Those are really the safer, better way to go about creating a better, cleaner home without bringing chemicals in. But that was my presentation, and I would love to take questions if anybody has any.